Snowblower. First start, no start of the year. Hello and thank you for stopping by. Today I'm going to show you why this 39-year-old Gilson snowblower with a Tecumseh engine wouldn't start. Then I'm going to show you what I did to get it to start. First of all, let me point out I made that big mistake. I left gas in the tank. I thought for sure I drained this gas when I put it up for storage, but evidently I forgot. It must have been on my gunner list. Before we start on this, let me show you what the gas that was in here looks like. Come on over. This is the gas that was in the carburetor. There was a little bit more gas in there than this. I spilled some of it. Could you see that? Could you see that ring of water in there on the bottom? See the bubbles? I don't know if the camera's picking this up. Okay, I got squirrels in the backyard again. Rain, stop. Okay, and we can see over here. I'm trying to get a good view of this. Okay, you can see on the bottom of the cup, see that white? That's all water. There's the gas that was in the tank itself. And if the camera's picking it up, there's a bead of water down there. I don't know if it's picking it up, if you can see it. Okay, so that's what the gas looked like, and that's why it wouldn't start. Let me now show you what I did to get this running. And it wasn't a lot, but this is something you should do before you need the snowblower. I happened to pull it off because they're predicting 9 to 12 inches of snow in my area this week, and I'm just glad I did this now because I would have never got this done with all that snow on the ground. First of all, I took this tank off. There's only 2 bolts that hold it on, and there's like a little clip on the bottom that you just put it down and slide it over. And while I had the tank off, I noticed that this hose right here was cracked and it was leaking gas. So not only did I drain the gas out of here, cleaned the tank out, I replaced the hose. Now that the tank is cleaned out, I also removed the cowling over here. We have problems with mice building nests in the engines. These engines being air cooled with a mouse nest in there, very easy to blow the engine. This year there was nothing in there, it was clean. So that was a plus. Then I pulled the spark plug out, checked it. This plug is fairly new. It's about 2 years old. Now 2 years, you might say, well, 2 years you should change it. But it got used a handful of times, so it wasn't used that much. It was a little carboned up. I cleaned it up and put that back in. The gap was right. And this was a real easy fix. On these older units, this is a setup that you have. The newer ones have plastic cowlings on them or whatnot. But to get to the carburetor, the easiest thing to do is to take this off. This is missing a few screws. There's one up here, one on the side, and these 2 right up front. You have to pull the knob for the choke off. Once you remove this, you'll see the carburetor right underneath. I don't know if I'm getting a view of that. Once I had the bowl of the carburetor off, I cleaned the bowl up. I sprayed a little carburetor cleaner in there, and this is an older style carburetor. You can see it has the adjustment screw under here. The newer ones, right here. The newer ones don't have the screw, but that's a jet valve. I cleaned that out with a copper wire. I made sure that was clean. Before I put it back together, I put gas in the tank. I opened up the valve. I had a funnel and a container, and I let gas run through the line. I just wanted to make sure if there was any water left in there, any water left in the line, that it was going into the container and not into the carburetor that I just cleaned out. Once I saw the gas was coming out clean and the float was moving without any problems, I shut the valve off on the side there. I put the bowl back, tightened it. Now let's give it a try. And that's how your snowblower should start. Any snowblower, whether it's a Tecumseh engine on it, a Briggs & Stratton, 1 or 2 pulls, it should fire right up. Now, once it's running, if you hear it hesitating or surging, you still have some debris in that carburetor. The carburetor will have to be taken off and be cleaned. But before it snows, do yourself a favor, check it out, make sure it starts. Get your grease gun out, grease all the Zerk fittings that you have. Make sure everything is going okay, the proper air in your tires. Check your oil. This one over here, I'll be changing the oil on it. I believe I did it last year, but it's sat all summer. Condensation, you get the condensation in the crankcase. It's for a few dollars. You're taking care of this engine. And again, this is 29 years old. And the reason I know it's at least 29 years old, Gilson, this company, stopped making snowblowers from when I found out in 1985. So it may even be older. It's 20 horsepower, 32 inch, and I clean out a 300-foot driveway that's stone. And it starts up and fires up every year. Every year I say I'm going to take this apart, repaint it and whatnot. It seems like I just never get to it. But check your machine out. Oh, and another thing, check your belts. Make sure they're not cracking. And if you have a manual, go pick up a set of belts. There's 2 belts that are in there. Make sure you have a spare on hand. Worst thing is your machine goes down, belt breaks, you go to get a belt, shop doesn't have it, you have to order it online, wait 2-3 days. By then you already paid somebody to come do your driveway. So I hope this short video was of some help. If you found it useful, entertaining, give it a like and let me know. Post your comments and questions down below. And if you haven't done so already, subscribe. Hit that Joe Z button. Not to miss my new videos as I upload them. Be sure to ring that bell. And until next time, stay warm and be safe.